Hey guys, Luke Lover here, a full-time IFS consultant. I'm sitting down here with my good buddy Craig, who's also an IFS consultant. We're going to talk about all things IFS, implementations, projects, personnel, customers, you name it. Anything IFS, we're going to talk about it. Um, I recently sat down with Craig and caught up with him. He told me a little bit about a business that he started, and so I want to give them opportunity to talk a little bit about that. Tell us about the company that you just started.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. So, getifshelp.com, very simple, exactly what it sounds like. And it's just a good, hopefully, resource for clients to go to anytime they have a question they need answered. You don't need long-standing agreements. You don't need retainers with a consultancy firm, anything like that. It's just us, good consultants, helping good clients with good questions. So that's really what we're here to do. We can do the extra stuff too with implementations and advisory support and all of that. But at our heart, that's all we're trying to do. Just help good customers with good questions.
That's great. Yeah, there's always a need for that. I constantly get calls after going live from customers that just have questions, and I really can't dedicate too much time to them because I'm doing other implementations. So it'd be good to have a resource that they could just call up, get their questions answered. So thanks for sharing a little bit about that. You
Absolutely.
and I have kept in contact over the years. We've done a few projects together, mostly in Florida, and you're doing projects all over the United States. I'm curious, what are you seeing out in the industry in terms of customers who are implementing IFS, customers that are thinking about implementing IFS? What are you seeing out there in terms of trends or commonalities among customers?
Sure. Yeah. One of the biggest things I'd have to say that I've noticed quite recently is in the last year or two is complexity is on the rise. So these businesses are coming with solutions that are much more advanced, businesses that are much more complex. So we've really noticed an uptick in that area recently of just complexity and advanced level of skill being required for these to service these accounts.
If I think about that a little bit, as IFS becomes more well known in the United States, bigger companies are actually starting to implement IFS. And with those bigger companies comes a lot more complexity, regulation, standards, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, I agree. Complexity is on the rise. So it's important for us as consultants to be experts in those regulations and those standards and really stay abreast of how things are evolving.
So true. I mean, these challenging industries, aerospace, AS 9100, ISO, like all of these crazy things. We got to be able to support all that. So we got to keep our skills sharp as well.
Great.
Um, Another thing I was kind of seeing in there wrapped up kind of along the same lines of complexity is assistance to manage that change during these life cycles, right? These are long projects with a lot of dedicated resources and a lot of moving parts. So really the change management piece. I've noticed a lot of customers actually going through and increasing their budgets a little bit to be able to pull in expert contracted help that do nothing more than these change management firms, helping their internal resources embrace the change from 0 to 100 the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it is so important to not only just implement a software, which can be very technical, but also cultural change. With that comes cultural change. And I've seen customers who don't culturally change, and it becomes a really problem, a big problem
Mhm.
implementation. And then I've also seen customers who do the cultural change and they are much happier. They use the system much more efficiently and they see the benefits quicker of implementing
Absolutely.
IFS. So yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine you're one of those people, right? Like you're the expert salesperson that you are. You're the shiner in your group, and your boss comes in one day and says, "We're putting in a new software system, and you're going to be the point of contact. You're going to be the subject matter expert for everything sales, in addition to the job you already do for us, right?" So yeah, that can put a lot of strain. So having that additional support makes a lot of help, or makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
that's true. We deal mostly with SMEs, and if companies don't have those dedicated people that we can interact with, that are kind of department heads or department experts, it makes it much more difficult to implement IFS. And because ultimately, we're helping them implement their software. We're not implementing the software for them, and so it's important to have those SMEs as our point of contact when we're implementing IFS.
It's so true. And I mean, we could sit here and talk all day about it, but I guess the last biggest point I'll bring up is implementations are a big deal. Like that's a lot of time and effort. It's a lot of money, and there's scope, and then there's budget, and some things just have to be parked till later. Phase one implementation, phase two starting of continuous improvement. So I've seen a lot of uptick lately as well with clients reaching out ready to do that second level, that second phase of continuous improvement, and bringing the advisors back in and see a lot of value, and sometimes even bringing in the previous consultants as well because they're already familiar with the business. So that's really
Yeah.
encouraging.
Yeah, so I think that's a real opportunity for consultants in particular to specialize in that phase two piece. Um, and if you're a really smart consultant, you would build relationships during phase one so that you can help customers during their phase two post production. If you're like me, and I'm sure in this way you are, I love to see things through. I love to
Yep.
see results from our efforts. And so if something is left undone in phase one, I love to see it come to fruition in phase two. So I find a lot of benefit from that.
And that was one reason that we launched our advisory support services, right? So after you get through that implementation and you get over the hump of learning how to spell IFS and, getting your legs under you of how to use it, once you want to branch into those phase twos, like that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And what's been really interesting to me, Luke, is as I've been going through this, obviously, when I'm on these implementations, I don't think I've met a customer yet who hasn't tried to hire me. Everyone is having such a hard time trying to find true IFS talent. And you tackling that with IFS-Jobs, I think really fits that void. So it's
Yeah.
really interesting. Tell me more about IFS-Jobs. We haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Yes, yeah. A couple months ago, I created IFS-Jobs so that IFS customers could connect with IFS talent directly. I'm just a connection point. I create a website for people to create profiles. And I also do some advisory services as well in terms of if people have specific requirements that they're looking for. I go out and find good resources based off my industry knowledge and help them find the right fit. So it's been huge. I only implemented or started a few months ago, and it's really caught on. It's hard to keep up. So there seems to be a real need for IFS talent out there. So yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah,
That's really interesting. It's really exciting. And if I heard the rumors right, I think you might have helped one of my friends from California as
yeah,
well.
that's
So
right.
thank you for that.
Good stuff. Hey, well,
Really
thanks
cool.
for hopping on with me today. It's been a pleasure. It's been great to connect. Um, Hopefully we get to do some of these in the future. If you really liked our video, comment below, and we would love to cover things that you find helpful or need help with. We may interview other people in the industry in these sessions. So looking forward to doing more with you, man. Let's keep up soon. Let's catch
That's
up.
awesome. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for inviting.
Thanks, man. See you.
Thanks. Have a good day.